artists, you know.
The unusual thing about it is that it's like they cut that in half and then they tied it together. Is that
exactly.
right?
Now you wouldn't want to put your soup in this
yeah,
bowl.
you couldn't put soup in it. But you know what you could do that would be beautiful? Is figure a way to hang that and put a candle in it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Or plant.
Yeah, that's right.
Sit another pot in it.
Exactly
but
right.
I really like that piece. It's very unusual.
Sure is.
Now these others will just be on our table for the ticket holders to pick out.
Now this one here looks like it'd be good for some soup, and this one would be great for some soup.
But you know, most people don't put their soup. They don't. Most people don't put their soup in their bowl. They usually get a disposable bowl.
Yeah.
They can if they want to.
That's right.
But this is just some different styles.
All right, hold them up.
Okay, like this. I made this bowl.
Boy, I love that. Now.
I made that one.
Yeah.
And this was thrown on the wheel. And you see this one was thrown on the wheel. It has glass in the bottom. And this is one that was a hand-built bowl.
Oh, yeah.
See the difference?
Oh, that's got a cross on it.
It's got a cross on it.
I really like that a lot.
And a snake on the back.
What's the snake
I guess that's good and evil.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's the devil.
I don't know. I didn't make
I never saw a snake I didn't like, didn't dislike.
But look at...
I'm being facetious. I never saw a snake I liked.
That you liked. Well, look at the different glazes. See how pretty?
That is a beautiful vase.
And this is a hand-built bowl.
Now, all of these you bid on, or do you?
No, these will be on the table for you to pick out.
All right, now take a look at that with the green.
Yes, this is was thrown on the wheel, and it's got glass in it in the bottom.
You know many of these people that made these. I'm sure you know
some of them. I do,
yeah.
but you know we get hundreds of bowls made.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one everybody made. And this one's very different.
Yeah,
this is a different clay. This is a black clay. See, the glaze is a little different.
And you've gotten involved in making them too, haven't you?
I made this one.
Yeah.
So yes, I like
Well, your cohort.
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand how she can always get her picture on the front page of the paper, but your cohort.
I saw that this morning.
It said, "Good morning, Donna McClaney. She will be making soup for the Empty Bowls luncheon next week." And what is that date? That date is
April 20th.
April the 20th. That will be
a week
Friday
from tomorrow.
Night week. I mean, not
Friday.
this Friday night, but a week from
not
Friday.
Not at night. It's during the day.
That's right.
Remember?
From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's
and I
correct.
tell you, you want a great meal now. We're talking about not only soups, but camp stew.
And chili. And
chili.
Gumbo.
And gumbo and
all kinds of soup.
Yeah, all kinds of soups. And I would think you can eat about as much as you want.
Eat as much as you want. You can try the different soups. You can go back for seconds.
So I go in and I grab any bowl I like.
Yes.
Like let's say, well, I like this bowl, and something else I like about it. It holds a lot of soup. That's a good-looking bowl. You made this? This is heavy.
It is.
Why is it so heavy?
Because I like to work with a thicker clay.
Well, I tell you what, it is heavy.
That's just a preference.
And you know what this would be? This would be a good put on your letters. They're not going anywhere.
No, not with that one sitting on.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Kim is with the Salvation Army. And how long has it been going? You have done a super job with that.
This is our 9th annual Empty Bowls.
And of course, how long have you been with the Salvation Army?
11 years.
11 years, and done a wonderful job. I haven't been to any national or statewide events, but I bet you have received some honors over the last few years, wouldn't you say?
I have a few, you know.
I mean, some innovative things.
The Salvation Army.
Did this start in Troy, or did it start somewhere else?
No, actually, Empty Bowls is not confined to the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
You know, like in Montgomery, I think the food bank hosts Empty Bowls.
Okay.
And in Dothan, they do an Empty Bowls, but it's not Salvation Army either. So it's all over the country, but it's not confined to the Salvation Army.
Exactly.
We just happen to be lucky enough to get it here. You know, the Salvation Army.
Exactly that.
Actually, they came to me and asked if I was interested, and I said yes.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. But actually, an art teacher in another state, and I can't remember which state, started the Empty Bowls because he wanted his art students to give back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kim is with us today, and you can be with us for a few minutes, can't you, this morning?
I can.
And of course, she's the director of the Salvation Army store right here in Troy, right there on the corner. I really want to say it's on the corner of South Brundage Street and not Montgomery Street, but Madison Avenue.
Almost.
And of course, it's in a great location. You can't miss it. And ladies and gentlemen, the Salvation Army is here to do a service for our community, to provide assistance for people that need help. I was at the beach this time yesterday. In fact, I was at the beach this morning around 4:30 when I turned my truck heading north, and I got here on time. Everybody else didn't. but we got a show for you today, and we appreciate Kim coming in this morning. And she's one of my favorite people anyway. And of course, we were talking about your daddy not long ago, and of course. Well, I think I was talking to your brother too, and we were telling stories. And gosh, what a guy he was, Lester Sanders.
He was one of a kind.
This is Lester Sanders' his daughter, ladies and gentlemen, and she comes from great stock, like my mama used to say.
I loved your mother. She was so sweet.
Well, I appreciate it.
I knew
and
her
it makes
well.
me feel so good that she would say that. It keeps, well, she's alive all the time in my heart, but it makes me feel good to know that other people think about
She
it.
was a sweet lady.
Well, she
always
was a
kind.
lady. She was a
Kind
classy
to me,
lady. She walked with great dignity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got a little medical problem, and some people know it, and some people don't. And but you know, I understand dignity a little bit. You know, it's hard for me to walk straight up with this condition I have, but I do try to walk with dignity. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm not going to sit here and give you the dictionary what it says about how do you explain dignity, but
well, you know, Mike,
it's I would think. What would you say? What word would you use?
well, we were taught those things in school.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
I remember,
Be proud. One thing.
And respect yourself.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember, and have manners. I remember teachers teaching you those things.
Yeah,
Stand
exactly.
up when an adult walks in. Like little girls keep their legs together.
Sure,
You know,
sure,
we used to all
sure.
have to wear dresses.
And pull your pants up, you know.
Yeah,
I
we
guarantee you
used to
this.
be
Hey,
taught
listen,
those
I can
things.
see the Board of Education if I wore my pants like some of these folks were, and that Board of Education was wham.
Uh-huh.
Hey, put your hands on that chair right there, and get ready. Bang.
Exactly. You know,
But
we used to be
and
taught
we
those
deserved
things.
it. Well, you know, and if you got caught with your hand in somebody's pocket doing PE, you got a spanking plus maybe some other punishment. You know.
And then you got one at home.
Exactly. You got in a fight or got in an argument or whatever. You know, your parent, not only did the principal hear about it, but your parents heard about it.
Exactly.
But again, I try to walk with dignity, and I am a proud person, and I think dignity and pride have a lot to do with it. And, you know, something I will always say, this is personal, but I will say it. The late, great Bulldog Rayleigh, who used to run
I knew him.
the nursing home of Troy Health and Rehab, he said to me one day, he said, you know, we can do this and we can do that, but if we do this, she can lose her dignity. Mm-hmm. And that means the sicker you get, the more unaware of things, and the worse you debilitate, and you know, and you're not the same person you used to be, and you got a chance to lose your dignity if you're out in the out among the group. You know what I'm saying?
It's good that
And he said that to me.
that.
He said that to me, and he, at the same time, took care of my wishes to not have my mother move to a certain part of the nursing home when she was in her last years. And he did that for me, and I took it as a wonderful favor. But later on, I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want that, and she didn't want that, I know. But dignity is an important part of people. How many times have you seen an older man, like an older doctor or older lawyer or older preacher or older layman, walking down the street and say, you know, he still walks with dignity,
mm-hmm.
or great dignity.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think it's just a way, not on a way a person carries themselves.
Yeah.
That they carry, you know, at later ages, we get older, we don't walk as straight, we walk maybe a little bit more with a limp or whatever. Hey, but we walk with dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mark. It's Max. How you doing?
Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. And Max, a lady that I would love for you to meet when you come to Troy is this weekend or next weekend, a week from Saturday.
Yes.
And of course, I don't know if you ever heard the name Lester Sanders or a place called Lester's Flat. Did you hear about that when you were in Troy?
I don't believe so, Mike.
All right. Well, see, it was a place where people went and to hear people play the guitar. A lot of people around here play the fiddle and the guitar, and they would meet there and gather, and people would come in and enjoy listening to the music. And you grew up listening to it, did you, Kim?
I did.
Kim, this is Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. Of course, former great football coach here at Troy.
Yes.
When Troy won the national championship under Billy Atkins, he was one of the assistant coaches, and along with Philip Creel. And of course, he been in coaching for years, and now he's one of the top analysts, sports analysts. I would say more or less football more than anything, wouldn't you say? But you can talk.
Mike, I've gotten to the point where I'm doing a local show in Tupelo tomorrow, and I make it very clear coming in. I don't need to talk basketball. I don't need to talk baseball. I'm there for one thing.
Yeah.
And I try to give them a little more insight on what's going on in spring football.
Well, let me tell you, Kim, and while you're on, I want you to while she's on, I want you to hear a little bit about what she does. Of course, she is the executive director of the Salvation Army right here in Troy, and of course, you know, they do so much for people that are in need. I was telling her yesterday, and I'm not trying to put a feather in my hat, but it's hard for me to say no to people. I have a hard time. So I was pulled up in a shopping center in Panama City yesterday, and a guy pulls up in a pickup truck, just slam packed with junk, it looked like. But you could tell he on the other side of him was his wife, and he had 2 kids in the back, and he was telling me, where can I go for help? He said, they kicked me out of my house because a friend of mine brought a car by there, and it rusted where it sat, and because I didn't move it, they had me removed from the place where I live. You know, they use that as the excuse that hey, you've got all this junk, and we've told you to move it, and this guy would never come and move the car, this friend of his, so he got kicked out of his house and wanted to know where to go. And you know, in Troy, Alabama, you know what I would say? Go to the Salvation Army.
Right.
and my friend Kim will take care of you. But the more we talked, I said, well, maybe the mayor, you know, he was a good friend of mine, Mike Thomas, is the mayor of Panama City Beach, and that's the only person I knew. I said, well, you know, the Goodwill, I don't know if Goodwill does it, but I know that Salvation Army tries to help people out, maybe with gas money or with food or with clothing.
Correct.
And in a situation like this, what could you have done for this person?
Well, if his story is true,
Yeah,
first
but
we
you
had
could tell he was on
you
hard
know,
times.
when we vet them, we could help with a hotel room for a couple nights. With
Yeah, see, that's what he
clothing,
needed. He
food,
needed a place to stay.
gasoline, you know.
He said he needed a place to stay for one night.
Mhm.
And you probably hear this all the time then. But I still got out of my truck and said, I don't know where to send you, but I recommend the mayor's office. They could at least given him some information on where he could.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people will go to churches. Sometimes.
Well, there's Salvation Army, I'm sure, in Fort Walton.
Yeah, exactly. And but I gave him a little money, and I said, go buy y'all something to eat, you know, and it made me feel good personally, even though, and again, I'm not trying to say I'm a goody or anything like that, but I don't know about you, Max, it's hard for me to say no to a situation like that, especially when they got 2 kids in the back of the truck.
Right. Well, the Salvation Army in Tupelo now are building about a $2 million facility that I think will house up to 8 families in the Tupelo market. So they've been very active in that market and certainly gets great support from many agencies.
They must, because that would be great, for you to know you could house some people that needed housing. Isn't that right?
They have that at Montgomery and Dothan, Birmingham, and the bigger cities.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this, Max. Of course, we're gonna get around to Max's what's for supper in a few moments. Max is a noted cook too, and he's got a cookbook that he can't keep enough of. I mean, he's having to. How many times have you had the reprint on that cookbook?
I think we printed twice already, Mike, and rather than to print a third time, I'm gonna write my 3rd book.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me tell you this. Before she goes off the air now, Lester Sanders had a recipe for chili, Max, that will knock your socks off. Or make you kiss your sister or something. I don't know what. But what they've got going on this week, Max, and if you're like me, you never had a bowl of soup that you didn't like. Well, this is called the Empty Bowls, and what you do.
Yes, we do that. Yeah, we do that in Tupelo.
Are you familiar with that? Where you go in and you pick out a bowl and then fill it up with soup, and it doesn't. And I don't think they keep up with how many times you fill it up. So if you got a good soup you like, or chili or camp stew, they make wonderful camp stew.
Mike, I'll tell you, that's one of the bigger social events in Tupelo, Mississippi, every year. And they've even got people in the pottery business that obviously make the bowls themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You buy the bowl, and then the soup, goes with it.
That's right.
But it's a social event. And I mean, it literally draws 2,000 or 3,000 people every year in Tupelo.
Isn't that wonderful? And and I tell you
that's
this,
our
man.
goal.
Well, Tupelo's a lot bigger town than Troy, but at the same time, Max, you're exactly right. You buy the bowl and then you enjoy the soup, and you enjoy a lot of good fellowship. Everybody that I know, that's where they eat lunch that day, Mm-hmm. But let me, Max, get a pencil. You've got to take this down. You've got to take this down, Max, and you might want to put it in your cookbook. This is for world famous chili, and nobody. I've been riding down the road with my look at that. Isn't that a great picture? Isn't that a great picture of this bowl right here?
Yes.
Man, isn't that great? Great camera work, guys.
And see the glass.
And here, this one here is very similar to it. Yeah, these are beautiful. Do you want to sell any of them on there? And here's another one, my favorite, the heavy one. But Max, you got to write this down because
I'm waiting.
Sonny Williff and I, one of my very best friends, used to be riding. We used to be riding around back in the when was he? The 80s, probably the
70s, 80s.
You know how you get with a buddy and you might get a couple of cool ones. You ride around and shoot the breeze. And when we got hungry, he said, "Let's stop by Lester's and get some chili." All right, tell us. And she's,
Mike, if they pick you up today riding around with a couple of cool, they put you in jail first.
That's right, I know it.
Yeah,
I know it. And that was the thing we used to love to do, man.
Absolutely.
But I want you to write this down because this was famous and it's very, very easy to remember.
Very simple recipe.
All right, tell us.
Just to give you a little background, my dad ran a local bar.
Well, it's called Lester's Flat. You sort of figured that out to be.
It was like a neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
And he loved bluegrass and country music. So, and they served hamburgers and chili. And his chili recipe was very simple. But he used to make what they called a Frito pie. And he was famous for it at that time. Frito pies are all around now, but at that time it was a new thing.
Yeah.
Okay, the chili is actually, the chili, and you can double this or triple it or whatever. It was 2 pounds of ground chuck. I get it ground. I don't buy it out of the counter. Okay, and you chop up an onion and you brown the meat with the onion. Then in a pot, you add that with 4 cans, well, it's actually 2 cans of light red kidney beans.
Light red kidney beans, okay. Not the big red ones.
Yes. 2 cans of pinto beans.
All right, that would be pinto beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 cans of tomato sauce, 2 cans of tomatoes. And
All right, that diced or
yes.
Diced
or
tomatoes.
whole, you just mash them up,
Yeah,
however
that's right.
whichever ones you want to use. And salt and pepper to taste. And your hot Mexican chili powder.
Oh, all right. Now this is if you wanted it hot. Is that right?
Well,
Is that
even
McCormick's? Is that McCormick?
Yes. Even then, you add
Mike.
to your taste
Exactly.
a little bit of garlic, and I usually sometimes if it's a little too acidic, I'll put a little sugar in with my chili, and you let it cook for 2 or 3 hours, really slow.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple recipe.
Yeah.
It is.
Of course, you'd want to use Pam so it won't stick to the.
Now, I
you
never
don't have to
use.
stir it the whole time, does it?
Well, I never used Pam.
You know what Pam does. It keeps it sticking to the bowl.
It would work.
Max, I hope you wrote that down because you could become famous, man.
Yeah, I wrote every word down.
Yeah.
I did.
Now, see, I've always used McCormick chili powder. You know,
You could use whatever you like.
Yeah.
You know, whatever kind of chili powder you like.
But that is delicious. Now, do you serve, or you call it a pie now, what do you put, crackers, or what do you do?
Well, first in your bowl, you put crunched up Fritos.
First thing in your bowl,
Then you put your chili.
chili,
Then you put shredded cheese and then chopped onions.
shredded cheese, and
right.
chopped onions.
Mhm.
Now, do you bake it in the oven, or what do you do?
No, you just serve
Just
it.
serve it.
That hot chili
All right.
will melt the cheese.
All right, now what kind of crackers do you use?
Fritos.
Fritos, all right, put Fritos corn chips. Is that
Uh-huh.
right? All right, Fritos corn chips, Max.
See, I got everything on there except I'll top mine off with some chipped jalapeno peppers right on top.
Yeah, oh yeah, some
That
people like
sounds
it
good
that way.
too.
Hey, listen, you know, that's the problem is, though, I love jalapeno peppers, but it don't like me.
Ah,
Whoa.
Well, those are
Everybody
optional.
out there knows what I'm talking
Optional.
about. But I'll tell you this right now, that is a great recipe. Now, this is another great recipe for camp stew, and they make stew all the time, and they sell it for $9 a quart.
no, $10 a quart.
$10 a quart.
Uh-huh.
Best deal in town, Max. And this is camp stew.
Can I pick some up when I'm there, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
you
still
can.
have some, but
You
we
sure can.
we have it in our freezer
They
at
keep it in the
Salvation Army.
freezer. And by the time you got back to Fulton, Mississippi, it'd probably be ready to eat. But are you putting a cooler now? She's gonna give you the recipe for your camp stew. Is that right?
Well, we make like 600 quarts, so that might not.
600 quarts. Okay.
And I don't have.
But give us a good idea of what's in it.
Well, we
Give us the ingredients. We can adjust.
okay. We use pork, beef, and chicken.
Pork, beef, and chicken.
Right.
And of course, if you want to cook that and pick it, you know, but we usually get boneless, skinless and
Right.
boneless, and cook that down.
What do you just put it in the big boiler? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we have like 400 quart pots,
Yeah.
and then we have 2 more when we get ready to mix
Yeah.
after we've cooked the meat.
Yeah.
And we have diced onions we add to
All right.
it.
So you cook the pork and
The beef and the chicken.
and the chicken, the bone in, or do
No,
you say bone in?
boneless.
Boneless. Okay.
Until that's tender and it
All right,
just falls
the
apart.
white or dark meat on the chicken.
We usually use boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
Okay, chicken thighs. Yeah, boneless chicken
And
thighs.
skinless. And we use sliced
skinless.
pork loin and
Sliced pork loin.
We slice it so it cooks,
Yeah.
you know, quicker. And we use sliced beef round roast.
Beef round roast.
And we cook that till the meat just falls apart.
Yeah.
And then we add our other ingredients.
So you're just boiling it, what you're doing,
Mhm.
exactly. And
Yes.
then you add, all right, and tell us what else you add.
We add chopped onion, a little.
Valdez onions or what kind
That's
of onions?
usually what I use.
Yeah.
Because when you chop them, you know.
Yeah, you don't put your eyes
Cry.
out.
Yeah, exactly. We use a little Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Right.
We add cubed canned potatoes that's already cooked.
Well,
Which makes it a little easier.
Canned potatoes, what kind of potatoes would that be?
I think it's Allen's.
Allen's makes a good product. That's a good
Yes.
product. Yeah. All right, add those Allen's
And you
potatoes.
have to remember, we're using many gallons of these things.
Do you cook those? Do you put them in whole, or do you
They're
you cut 'em
already
up?
cubed.
They're already cubed. Okay, already cubed.
Okay, we add cubed potatoes, tomatoes, like diced tomatoes, cream corn, ketchup. Sometimes we'll use a little tomato paste. I'm trying to think if there's
Now,
anything.
you don't use
Hot
butter beans.
sauce,
You don't
no.
use butter beans. Why not? What do you?
Well, they say that is Brunswick stew.
Oh.
When you put the
Yeah,
the butter
I know
beans.
it. I know it. Up in northern Mississippi, like you are, they might call it Brunswick.
Yeah, it may be
stew.
different there. In every region, it's a
All
little
right,
different.
go ahead. Okay.
We add the hot sauce to the desired hotness, you know.
All right,
We keep
it'll
ours
be-
a little bland because you can add more hot sauce, but
yeah.
you can't
And that's
take it out.
the regular hot sauce.
Yeah, yeah,
Red hot or whatever you call it.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
Louisiana
yeah.
hot
but
sauce.
You know, you can't really tell that you've got a lot of hot sauce in
But
it.
that's what camp stew is.
Yeah.
You know, that's
And
why
then
it's camp
and then
stew.
you put it in a bowl and you stir
And
you
you
stir
stir
and
and
you
you
stir.
stir.
For how long?
Seems like forever.
How do you know when it's ready? When it gets when it gets a certain thickness, or what?
Well, when it just comes to a good
Or
boil,
go
boils a little.
Yeah, that's what I do with mine. When I make soup at home, I let it come to a boil. Then I'll turn it down to maybe 1 or 2 and let it sit for a while.
And you know what we stir with?
What?
We have boat paddles.
Are you serious? Listen to that, Max.
Well, we
boat
start with-
paddles. Use a boat paddle to
The
stir with.
courts, Mike, they need us.
I know it.
They need an automatic stir.
I know it. But you know, that sounds pretty good. The only thing I would add maybe would be the butter beans.
Well, you know, this is
Yeah,
what you can do.
Yeah.
This is what I tell people.
Yeah, you can
A
add
lot
it.
of people like English peas in their
Oh, that's
camp stew.
right. Yeah.
So when you get your quart of camp stew at home
Yeah.
and you put it in your pot,
Yeah.
just add you
Well, yours
some.
is wonderful. Let me
some
tell you, I was
English peas
just
if you
cutting
want 'em.
up with you a little bit about that, but.
But I
'cause
mean,
yours-
really,
Yeah.
because I do that at home sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I'll add some English peas at home.
What do you think, Max? Sound good to you?
I got to tell you this. I was in Birmingham all day yesterday working, and every time I go, there's a food chain out there called Jim and Nick's, a barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You run into that, Mike. I'm sure they've got.
Yeah.
And I try Brunswick stew or camp stew everywhere I go. They have the best I can get.
They're really
For
good.
lunch yesterday, I had Brunswick stew and a house salad.
Yeah.
That's my common set, and
Well,
I
you
eat
know-
it all over the South, wherever I can find it.
Yeah. You know, I tell people that I love that I'll put it over rice sometime.
Uh-huh.
You know, or I'll put it over light bread. You know what light bread is, don't you?
That's very,
It ain't. It's light. It's not. It's called light bread.
That's how we ate it when I was growing
Yeah.
up, over light bread.
You put it over light bread. Are you like you said? She uses what was it? Corn chips.
That's for the
Oh,
chili.
yeah.
That's for the
yeah.
chili. That's for the chili. But you know, it's not bad with camp stew. You know,
Yeah,
especially
that's
those
true.
scoop kind of. You ever use those scoop kind that you can just sort of scoop up the soup with it?
Yeah, if they thick, you got the stew's got to be thick though.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Actually,
if it's too watery, it'll just melt.
Max, you've got, go ahead.
you know, this
Kim?
is Carter's original recipe.
Carter Sanders, yeah, that's right.
And they like to eat their camp stew over grits.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well,
Now, I've never tried that, but they say it's good.
Well, I just got to say something else about Kim. Her husband was involved in quite a unique business at one time. Would
He
you
was.
say? Tell them what your husband was actually founded.
He founded Clyde Mays Conecuh Ridge Whiskey.
Have you ever heard of Clyde Mays Conecuh Ridge Whiskey, Mac?
No, but it sounds interesting.
Well,
it's an Alabama whiskey, and he actually got it noted as the official state spirit.
Is that right?
Official state spirit. Mm-hmm. like now, I don't even know what it used to be. The goldenrod, the flower used to be, but it's azalea now. You know, what is or camellia?
The camellia.
Camellia, okay,
Camellia, yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, they're doing something with that brand here.
Yes, but we're not in it anymore.
You're not.
My husband sold it, you know.
Yeah. All right. Can I mention that?
Whatever
They're
you-
building a distillery right here in Troy, Alabama, Max, called Clyde Mays. What is it?
Clyde Mays Conecuh Ridge Whiskey.
Clyde Mays Conecuh Ridge Whiskey. So that'll give you that'll give you the rest of the story.
Are you going to do a sampling?
Well, let me tell you this, and your husband was the all-time greatest bell ringer.
He was.
In Pike County. Let me ask you this, Max. You've done a lot of things for charity. Have you ever rang the bells?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Have you ever seen people ringing the bells at Christmas? You know, standing outside.
I've seen the.
All right. What they're doing, they're raising money for the
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army, sure.
And her husband would stand out there for hours and ring the bell if they didn't have anybody, and would even go to a football game. And I told him one day, I said, man, this is the best idea I've ever heard. All the crowd at the football game walking in there, they're in a jubilant feeling before the game. I recommend that you do it before the game instead of after the game.
You're going to lose half of them.
Exactly. Some of them might not be of the same spirit that they were going in, you know. But
He was my #1 volunteer, wasn't he?
there's no question about it. And it was all to raise money for the Salvation Army.
And the reason we talking in past tense, he passed away.
Yeah. And what a great guy. Great guy.
He was.
Kenny
He was
May.
good help. Good help.
And,
Bless his heart.
I tell you, and that industry was bought out by some people up north, and they just so happen to be bringing that distillery. They're gonna build it
right here in Troy.
Right here. He bought land from Ben Beard. You know Ben.
Oh, very well. Yes.
And so that's gonna be a wonderful tourist attraction. Really, what it'll be more than anything, don't you think?
I think they want to probably distill there and also have a tourist attraction.
Exactly right. Well,
they're going to have tours and.
Exactly right. Of course, the Open Bowls is not this coming Friday, but Friday week from tomorrow, and it all starts at 11 o'clock from the Bush Memorial Baptist Church, which they're very nice every year, and it's a perfect location.
It is. They let us use
You
that
got plenty of
facility
parking.
in the Family Life Center, and they're kind enough to let us use their facility every year. There's plenty parking, plenty room.
I'll tell you something that Max will definitely remember, and ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to say it but one time, Wilson's Barbecue. How many times did you eat at Wilson's Barbecue when you coached at Troy?
There was not many days that went by I didn't stop. And they had the small buns, if you remember, red fresh, put the barbecue in. That was before they put coleslaw and decorated up. Just you put a little sauce on it. Sometimes I put a little shot of Tabasco on top, and I could eat a half a dozen of them.
Yeah, and of course, you know, let me tell you something else special about them. They had great camp stew, or Brunswick stew. I don't know why they call it, but they had great camp stew. And let me tell you this: their bread was it was almost like they just got it out of the oven.
It was.
It was so soft.
Yeah.
It was so soft you could grab it and just roll it up in your hand.
You know, I
It
remember.
was so fresh. I mean, I don't know if they use 2-day-old bread or not, but I know they use day-old bread most of the time.
You know, you can't get bread like that anymore.
No. It was almost. It was still warm.
I still
from
remember that kind of bread.
all right, Max, this is for $1 million. Name me the 2 big bread makers back in our time. And I'm gonna write them down. Wait a minute now. I'm gonna write them down right now. All right, go ahead and tell me.
Colonial bread was the biggest.
Colonial bread, and then there was another one.
There was one out of Georgia, I believe. I can't
Then
remember.
there was another. I'll tell you. Of course, there were some others, but do you know which one it was?
Was it Flowers?
No. Flowers is an old bread maker, and they still make bread in a big way. They have a big plant, I think, in Dothan. I want to say.
Right.
But you remember Wholesome bread?
Wholesome bread, yeah.
You remember Wholesome bread?
Ah,
I don't know if that was strictly a local Montgomery bread, but I know Colonial was local because you could smell it. You could smell it all the way up to Prattville, couldn't you?
Well, that's why we ate so much of it, Mike.
and it was fresh.
That's right.
fresh.
He's from Prattville originally, and exactly right. But you know why I said Wholesome? They used to have these little mini loaves. Have you ever seen a mini loaf?
Yeah.
And the programs that they would have where they gave away to kids and stuff on TV, they gave away these little Wholesome bread samples.
I didn't even know that.
Exactly. But that was just part of the old days, wasn't it? And Colonial,
Memories, Mike.
is Colonial still there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you got these big outfits.
Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee, yeah.
And
Sarah Lee's a bit.
Earth Grains, I believe.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different
There's a
types
lot
of
of
breads, no question about it. Max Howell is our guest on the phone, and Kim is with us. Kim May's with us to talk about the big event. Now, any of these right here, you just pick them up and eat your soup out of them. Do you get to keep it? Yes.
Yes.
Is that right?
If they're out on the table,
Yeah,
you
get
can
to
pick
keep
your
it.
bowl. Pick
You
whatever
probably got
want.
bowls at your house, Max, that you ate soup out of.
I go every year.
Yeah.
Mike, I mean, like I said, in Tupelo, Mississippi, that is a huge
Yeah.
event, and they advertise that for weeks in advance. And almost the whole city shuts down with the business personnel coming there to eat. They have it out at the Furniture Mart, which will seat 4,000 or 5,000 in one building.
Well, it's a wonderful way to raise money to help
It
the.
is.
And I was telling you that little story yesterday that happened, to me, and gosh,
Yeah.
I wish I wanted to go ahead and pay for the room, but I didn't know if it would get there, for sure. That's what I want to make sure is that the money's going where you want it to go, and that's what y'all do so very well. Y'all, certain rules and regulations y'all go by, but the money stays right here at home, doesn't it?
Exactly. It does. Everything that we raise stays right here at our service center, and we service 4 counties.
We all give to the church, I hope, out there, and I probably don't give the way I should, but at least once a month I write my check to the Benevolence Fund, which is to identify that money to help somebody that's in need. Now this is sort of by giving to you, it's almost like giving to a benevolence fund. They write their check to you, and it's tax deductible. Is that right?
That's correct.
And of course, again,
And we don't give out cash to any client.
I agree. Yeah.
We use vouchers.
Yeah.
I work with several businesses in town,
Yeah.
a hotel, a gas station, things like
Exactly.
that. We never give anyone cash.
Yeah. And of course, clothing is there. You probably give away some of that camp stew sometime.
We do. We do.
To a lot of these families and.
In our food bank,
Yeah.
when we do a food order, we put camp stew in
And
it.
let me tell you this, and I'm not ashamed one iota. I go in there and see things to buy almost always. Let me tell you this: if you want some reading glasses, go in there. If you want some frames, some of the nicest frames I know.
True.
You know, Max, the cost of glasses is really the frames. So you go in and get the frames for $2 or $3, and go have your deal mixed in there. You know,
Yeah.
have your lens, your actual lens put in there.
I have known of you buying a few golf clubs.
That's right. I bought a lot of golf clubs in there. No question about it. In fact, I bought some this weekend.
Did you?
Not from you, but from another place.
Another.
But,
Down at the beach.
Yeah, I sort of collect golf clubs, and Max, that's one of the best places to go.
Well, you know, people change and move from place to place. Usually the Salvation Army ends up with all the leftovers anyway.
Let me put you on hold a minute, Max. I'm going to put you on hold a second. And good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Where you calling from, sir?
Birmingham.
Birmingham, Alabama, calling today. And let me see if I can get you on the same line with a guy named Max Howell. You think you can do this? All right. All right, let's see here. Okay, one more time. Okay, Max, you still on?
I'm right here, Mike.
Okay, Mike, how about you? Hello. Hello. I lost him.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He'll jump back on in a minute. Max Howell's our guest. Max, I saw the Ole Miss spring game.
Spring game.
I promise you, it didn't look like it had much more than 100 people there. What was wrong?
No, I missed it. It was everywhere. Auburn was the same way.
Was it just real cold and damp, or what? What's the deal?
Oh, it was sleeting. It was 35, 36 degrees and the wind blowing.
You mean now Auburn usually has 45 or 50,000?
I guarantee you it wasn't 10.
Isn't that amazing? But now Ole Miss, and I know it didn't show the big side, so there's probably more than I could think of. But I thought they had the most unusual game I've ever seen.
Well, the scoring situation, I fussed about that as well, Mike, because it wasn't. I know they were looking for certain things out of the program. Matt Luke's done a good job in turning that thing around, and they're recruiting extremely well again this year. But the fact is, they were trying to emphasize certain. They spotted the defense 27 points, and gave the ball. The offense looked pretty good. They were trying to work on the defensive side, though.
You saw what they did after the game, don't you? They had a board drill. They had a board drill. Put one-on-one on.
Right.
Go,
that was some of the entertainment. See,
and they put it on, and all, I mean, we talking about wars now. I love it myself. I love it.
Yeah.
But some people say, I don't know if my children should watch this. I mean, they're killing each other.
The Auburn the other way. Auburn did the 7-on-7 with no pads on to begin with.
Yeah.
In the deal, they let Stidham throw the ball because he couldn't. He had a shoulder operation. So, and you know what my observation? I watched 4 games Saturday, but my observation.
10 games.
4 games on Saturday.
Yeah.
This past weekend, it was all. There's going to be 4 more this week, and then of course 6 or 7 for next weekend.
Yeah.
But the fact is, Auburn needs to punt on first down because their offense is anemic right now.
You think their offense is bad?
Oh, it's awful.
See, I thought they'd be loaded, Max. I thought they would be loaded.
They don't even have a running back, Mike. I mean, if Stephen goes down, they're going to have to punt on first down and play defense.
Isn't that amazing? Of course, they got their defense back, which is pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be as good as it is in the country. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
They got their corners are 4-2 guys. They're all the defensive fronts 6'5", 6'6", 300 can run. They're going to be awesome on defense.
And I hate to say this, but it's the truth. Steele knows about everything that Saban knows about defense, don't you think?
Yeah, he does.
He learned from Saban, didn't he?
And they've recruited to the defensive side, Mike. That's the thing. I don't know what's happened to the offensive side. They got to replace 4 offensive linemen. They're struggling with that right now, trying to find the right combination. But I don't know. I was totally disappointed in anything they did on offense. But the defense took up for it. Now they made up for everything that was a slack. South Carolina, I think, is going to be I think they won 9 this past year. Only had 59 scholarship players. I think Muschamp's done a really good job. They're going to be a team to contend with. I think it'll be Georgia winning it, but I think Florida and South Carolina is going to be in contention. You know, and of course in the West it's going to be Alabama first, and Auburn can get there if they can find some offense. We don't know about Texas A&M yet. Arkansas has got a long way to go. Ole Miss is going to be 6-6 or 7-5. Mississippi State got 18 returning starters back, but they got a new coaching staff. I think they'll win 8, probably maybe 9. And that's a Missouri we don't know about. Locke's back at quarterback, but we don't know what else they can do. They got Derek Dooley running the offense up there. That's dangerous.
I know it. But I do remember seeing Troy play Tennessee, though, and the final score was 52-45. He scored 52 points, but he gave up 45.
That's right. Well, see, you know, the SEC right now, and that's where I really concentrate on, as you know. You know, they're going to be right there in the mix for the around the country. But they got 6 new coaches this year, and they got a lot of programs that's going to have to go through complete what I call rehabilitation from the ground up. Tennessee's got a long way to go. Arkansas's got a long way to go. We don't know about A&M with Jimbo Fisher yet. I think they'll be better, but we don't know how good they're going to be. And LSU, we don't know what Orgeron's going to do.
And I got a feeling Florida might even be better, don't you think? So they got players, don't they?
Look, you can't live in a state and be at the state university with 250 D1 players and can't recruit. I mean, that's what happened to Kim McElwain. That's why they fired him.
Max, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute here. You can hear us talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate Max Howell, and we're going to be back with him in just a few moments. But, of course, what we want to emphasize more than anything is a week from tomorrow is Empty Bowls, and it's located, starts at 11 o'clock and runs to 2 o'clock from Bush Memorial Baptist Church on George Wallace Drive, which is not hard to find.
Nope.
And hey, just go ahead and mark your calendar and say we'll eat at Empty Bowls, and I'll bring 5 people with me.
Exactly.
And now, do you have to have reservations?
You can get your tickets at the door, and we will have dessert, rolls, coffee and tea, and we have entertainment. Lenny Trawick.
Wonderful.
It's going to be our entertainment.
That's great.
So, you know, we're going to have lots of pretty bowls, lots of bowls you can bid on, plenty to eat, and entertainment.
You know, Max will be in town sometime that day. Max, are you? When are you going to get to Troy?
I would love to try to get there for lunch, Mike. But it's going probably. I've got some things I've got to take care of here first.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm gonna say I'll be there around 2 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. But of course, you know, that weekend is a lot of people going to be in town for the T-Day game and the Hall of Fame. So it's a wonderful weekend. And of course, this is one of your biggest fundraisers of the year. Is that right?
That's right. My second largest fundraiser.
Yeah, and of course,
the first is, of course, bell ringing. Yeah. The bell ringers.
And all the time, anytime you want to write a check and it go to a great cause, write your check to the Salvation Army and mail it to your office on South Grundy Street.
Yes, to our P.O. box.
What is your P.O. box?
Post Office Box 592.
592, Post Office Box 592. And I promise you, you can't give to a better cause. And whether it's $1 or $10,000, they would appreciate your call.
Yes.
And let me tell you, whether it is 10,000 or 5,000 or 1,000 or 100, it goes to a great cause. You know, I wish I could have pointed him to a Salvation Army place that day, but I was hoping that somebody at City Hall, you know, surely they would be able to. They have all that
information.
Yeah.
True.
No
You probably sent him to the best place.
Troy has got a great thing now, Max, and I don't know if y'all have it where y'all are. It's 311. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And it's not a 911, but for things like we're talking about there, they could tell them where to go. Is that right? By dialing 311. Sure they could. Mm-hmm. And if you got a pothole in your street, or if you got somebody knocked your mailbox down, or if there's a street light missing,
or the garbage didn't get picked up.
Or the garbage did get picked up. or when they're going to pick up the garbage, dial 311.
Correct.
That's all you have to do.
They'll answer your question.
No question about it, and they'll answer the questions about empty bowls too, probably, won't they?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but let's
Exactly
hope
right.
so.
Yeah. First of all, before we leave, I was talking to Bart Sanders, you know, your very famous brother. I asked him, I said, where did she get her hair done?
Then what did he do?
Wait a minute, is there a bluebird robin egg on top of you? All right, who wears robin, Max, who wears robin egg colored helmets?
I hope I don't have an egg in my hair.
Max, who wears robin colored helmets? I love them. They brought them back.
Is that right?
Ole Miss, those are robin colored blue helmets that they've got.
Wow.
And the new coach had gone, you know, they changed their colors to navy blue, but now they've gone back to the old robin colored blue, you know, that sky blue helmet. And I think they're the best looking helmets in the SEC, don't you?
My favorite, Billy Brewer, when I was on staff there, Billy brought that back. He actually copied the UCLA colors.
And I'm sure somebody just made a mistake one time and painted them light blue because you wouldn't normally think about it. But like you said, they're perfect.
Yeah.
And I didn't see what they had on the side. Did they have the Colonel on the side or what?
No, they won't.
Say Ole Miss. It says Ole Miss on the side.
That's Ole Miss is all they have on
Exactly.
the side.
Kim, again, we appreciate you being a part of this show today. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Kim May can help you with if you've got something that you can't take to Salvation Army, you've got a way to go pick it up and bring it to the Salvation Army. So if you got a refrigerator, a stove, a washer, dryer, furniture, hey, how many times does the wife have to say, honey, or not honey, but Ben, when are you going to get that out of this garage? And it needs to go to the Salvation Army.
That's right. We'll pick it up.
And now you like for it to work, is that right?
Has to work and appliance, yes.
Yeah. And it also goes for bicycles or things
Yes.
like that too?
Well, this is the rule I tell everyone to go by. Is it something that you would buy?
Yeah.
If you would not buy it, don't send it to us.
Well, let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best things to buy is a lawnmower. Those Briggs and Stratton engines, Max, they never go out. Have you ever noticed that?
Never go out.
You get you a lawnmower Briggs and Stratton engine, I guarantee it'll go. Let me tell you what I got the other day at a place similar to yours. It was at the beach.
At the beach.
A real type lawnmower, Max. Hey, Max, not a power lawnmower, a real type push lawnmower. When's the last time you saw one of those? It's what you mowed the grass with when you were a little boy, wasn't it?
That's right, Mike. You need to exercise too.
I know it, but do you remember that lawnmower? And it's still, and I got one now.
And it cuts good?
And it cuts, yeah.
Wow.
So, and my lawn guy is always, he does a great job, but he's always late. So sometimes I hear my wife say, so you might need to go out and cut that grass. Well, I got me a little old lawnmower to do it with now. But it's a real type lawnmower.
I'm going to wait and see if you use that lawnmower.
I know it. Okay, exactly. But in golf clubs, I probably got more golf clubs than any one man in this town. I bought 32 of them this past weekend. and they were like new. People, they were just giving them away. I mean,
you need a storage.
I mean, they had a driver that was worth $200 at least, and I didn't pay but $30 for about 30 clubs. But it's hard to say no to stuff like that, you know.
I understand.
And of course, another thing, how many 45 records you reckon I bought from you over the years? You remember the old 45 record, Max?
Oh my God.
Hey, I ain't too proud to beg or some of those old songs.
Mm-hmm.
But
we definitely get some interesting items.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, but you've got unbelievable things and clothing. I hate to say this, it's hard for me to give away clothing that at one time I liked. I said, well, I've learned. My wife gives away clothing almost every week. She gives away something almost every week. So I've learned to be sort of like that.
She replaces it, Mike.
That's right. And you know what? They'll write you a
receipt.
A receipt, and hey, you can have it taken off your taxes. Do you ever do that with your clothes?
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, furniture and everything else.
Yeah, no question about it.
I've ran 2 retail stores up here for about 3 years.
I got you.
At the end of the year, all the extra inventory I had that I couldn't sell, I took it straight to Salvation Army.
Well, I tell you what, it's a lot of things out there. Spinning reels, old spinning reels, boy, you can buy them. You can always find a good deal on those. Again, you know, a Zebco 33. I got a friend of mine that can redo a Zebco 33 blindfolded. He knows them so well.
Wow.
But it's just amazing. But again, they'll go pick it up. Now, an old tractor, you probably won't do that, will you?
If it runs, we'll drive it up there.
Oh, really? If it runs? What is the most unusual thing you've ever had brought to you?
We had a Winnebago.
A Winnebago? Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Now, where did you put it? At your place, or?
Actually, I did not leave it at the store because I was afraid.
And it was running. Had to be running.
Oh,
you wouldn't take it.
It was an older one, but it was in great condition.
Man. Call me next time you get one of those. I want to. I'll put it next to a fish pond I know of.
But you know where our store's at. I didn't want to leave it parked there
right.
because I was afraid it would get broken into.
Yeah.
So I parked it at my house, but
Yeah.
it didn't take me but like 3 days to sell
Yeah,
it.
that's right. Well, I tell you what, if Max and I get in the car and start riding around, we'll drive by to see you, see what you got.
Okay, do
and
that.
of course, you know, everybo's talking about this Yeti cooler. And I don't know anything about a Yeti cooler, but I know this, that it went on auction the other day at a place I was at, and they wanted $900 for that Yeti cooler. And I promise you, it wasn't much bigger than a regular cooler. What does a Yeti cooler do, Max? Do you know?
It's the insulation, Mike, that keeps it cold.
I mean, so the ice doesn't melt quite as bad, and I do have a problem with that.
Well, you know.
Yeah, the most I've ever seen, the most I ever paid for one, I paid $300 for one. I never paid that.
Yeah, well, maybe it just in the auction it went for $900, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, to raise money.
Well, you know those cups are like $40.
Yeah, those Yeti cups. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're gonna, and we'll. In fact, we'd love to have somebody next week if you all want to bring them on.
Okay.
Come by, whatever.
I'll check to see if we can get
And of course,
someone.
it's called Empty Bowls. We know it well. We know it well. It's a wonderful place to eat lunch and get a bowl for eating lunch there. And of course, hey, it's to raise money for the Salvation Army. So hey, when you write that check, write it for more and give it to the Salvation Army and get a write-off for it. It's the only place I know anywhere that you get a write-off for buying a bowl. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
And of course, if you hadn't made your bowl
free
yet,
meal, and a meal.
You can go by the College Senior Center and they make a lot of these bowls. Is that right?
The College Complex, Potters.
That have keels. Is that right?
Yes. Larry Percy at University and his students.
Yeah.
Pike County High School students.
Yeah.
We had a community bowl making day.
Wonderful.
Army Aviation employees came out and helped us glaze. Just people around town, local potters make bowls for us. So we're very blessed in this area to have such talented
No question
people
about it.
that come together and make, and everybody likes to make a bowl.
Let me tell you one other thing, Max. Max, have you ever been to a turkey shoot?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And of course, a lot of people say, turkey shoot? You mean you go out and you walk in this pen, you walk in this pen and it's got 100 turkeys, and then you shoot him and you grab him, or you grab him and you wring his neck or whatever. But a turkey shoot, tell them how you were born and raised every Christmas holiday and every Thanksgiving. What was a big event going on in your backyard?
Yeah, it's a target shoot, Mike.
A turkey shoot.
That's where it comes from, but you shooting targets.
Exactly.
Yeah, you either, and of course what they do, they stick the target up, and then they've got the shotgun, and they back off a certain amount of foot. And of course, there might be 10 people shooting at a target, so they put a target on every post. Some people are either have the better range of shotgun pellets than others, but y'all put a stop to that, isn't that right?
Well, the deal was that you lay your gun on the table. And
lay your gun on the table.
Anybody can use your gun if they want to.
And anybody can use your gun.
Like when it's time to shoot, you know.
Yeah. Max, I can't picture you doing this. I can't picture you doing this, but have you done that before?
Man, but see, I've got enough guns to, supply an army.
Yeah, oh, I didn't know that.
I got 20 or 30.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a gun man.
Oh, either handguns or I got rifles. I got 14s.
Yeah.
I got.
So if a boogeyman came in your house, he just it was just a bad luck day for him, wasn't it?
Here's my comment to him. My house is really protected by the Bible and my guns.
Yeah.
If somebody breaks in, you got two introductions.
They are in trouble, are they?
You're gonna meet my gun and Jesus right off the bat.
That's right. Hey, and you know what? And it's over. I mean, you don't. You don't try to hit in any one spot. You just shoot in there.
That's right.
And it might be his hard luck day. Is that right? Or hers?
It could be. I'm gonna tell you, I live in Etowah County in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And all the stuff about the gun, it was just voted the safest school system in the state of Mississippi. You know why? Because 75% of the teachers carry.
Isn't that amazing? Carry around the ankle or in the purse. Is that right?
Oh, in their purse. That's exactly right.
Isn't that amazing? Right? But you said it's one of the safest school systems in America. Is that right?
I can promise you it is.
Oh boy, I tell you. Well, I always thought that if you gave the bad guy just the notion that it could that it was a gun in the house, it would keep him out of there. So I think probably where it's going to come to, it's going to be a sign out front that says "Have gun in house."
That's right.
Take your chances.
You know how a lot of them, evidently, the dog, beware of the dog. That keeps people out too. But hey. I tell you, the scary one would be have gun in house.
I guarantee you, that's and I think I hate to say it, but in society, the way it's headed, you're almost going to have to do that to protect your
Back to these turkey shoots. If your BB on that shotgun shell came closest to the middle, you would win. And they would show a big old ham, or a big old turkey, or a big old. What else did y'all have?
Slab of bacon.
Slab of bacon, a big old slab of bacon. Hey, you'd have a chance to bring some home. I used to go every Thanksgiving. I used to go to his turkey.
Yeah, and it's a fundraiser.
Oh, and it was fun, and it was always a good bunch of folks around there. And it was usually a cold Saturday, a cold Thanksgiving morning. And it just was a good atmosphere. And y'all always had hot coffee, and your mama would have some kind of goodie out there too.
Yeah.
So that was a big day for you,
It
wasn't
was a lot of fun, a lot of work.
And a lot of people they see this beautiful young lady here, they say, no way was she at a turkey hunt every Christmas and every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and at a bar.
But but you know what, though?
Well, times used to be a lot different.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you helped your parents, whatever they did.
That's right. You're exactly
as a young child, I used to serve a lot of beer. But that's just the way it was.
That's right. You did. You sure did, and that's where you got that's where you got your spending money.
You helped. You did. They said do this. You did.
Exactly. You remember that, Max?
Absolutely, man.
Hey, listen, if your daddy ran a beer joint, you had to work there. Or either had to clean the tables or sweep the floors.
Well, I still remember when we had to open the beer cans with a beer can opener.
Yeah, oh yeah. And you had to have that thing like that.
I've still got it. It's got slits on it.
S.C. Boswell had one of those. You ever heard that name, S.C. Boswell? At the last stand or the first stand, at the elbow on the Pike, Coffee County line.
Yes,
he had one of those.
I do. That was before the Pop Tops.
But his favorite beer back those days was Slits.
Yeah.
And listen, when I was growing up, it was a PBR. You know why that was, don't you?
That's Blue Ribbon, man.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
And then, you know, back then, old Dizzy on Saturdays, and every little kid in the world was wanting to watch the Yankees play, and on Saturday and everything, and in between innings, he'd bring out this big old clear mug type jar and pour that delicious product in there. He called it the choicest product of the Brewer's Ark. What was that, Max?
Moonshine.
No, it was a beer now. He poured the beer. And it looked so golden. And then it had a big old white top. What do you call that? The top.
I know what you're talking about.
But Max, what beer was that? Do you remember?
It was Pabst Blue Ribbon, wasn't it?
No, it was Falstaff beer.
Falstaff.
Right beer, yes sirree, Falstaff beer.
Do that anymore, Mike. They won't let you.
I know it. But what I'm saying, these kids, and it made it look so good. And you know what? When I was a kid, I did take one little swallow one time. Just say, I said, how could anybody drink that? But
It was awful, wasn't it?
but now on Friday nights, Max, the famous beer was what? There were two.
I don't know where you were.
All right, listen. They sponsored the Friday night fights. All right, there were two different sponsors, and one of them was a beer, and the other one was something you shave with. One of the sponsors was Gillette.
Mike, didn't have TV.
I know. Oh, you didn't. Oh, yeah. Well, see, this was a TV. We had to either go walk around the street. We'd go on Friday nights to some friends. Stanley Graves lived right around the corner from us, and we went around there and watched TV. And my daddy wanted to see the fights. And back then, those were good fights. You ever heard the name Bobo Olson or Kid Gavilan or some of those fighters?
Not me, no. I remember Gavilan's name, but no, my family didn't. We weren't into that. And my dad was a Grand Ole Opry guy.
Oh, was he?
Mine too.
Music, but
Did y'all go to the opera any?
oh yeah, I went to Hank Williams Sr.'s funeral.
Oh, did you? Oh, no.
Oh yeah,
Man, isn't that something?
that was the biggest gathering in Montgomery since Alabama seceded from the Union in 1960.
Well, they still, you know.
Over 100,000 people
Yeah.
showed up, Mike, in 1950.
Well, you know, for years and years, baseball played at Patterson Field. You hear somebody's at the plate, and you hear somebody say, "Wake up, old Hank." You know, that man hit a home run into the cemetery and wake up old Hank.
That was right up the hill above the stadium.
That's right.
Yeah.
Greenwood.
No question about it. But the other sponsor was Pabst Blue Ribbon, and you know, Slits was big back then, and of course, you know, there were just a bunch of them out there.
Country Club.
Yeah, Country Club, that little bitty one, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, they were all different types of. You know, back then, you know, if you remember, Max, the only place you really ever had to worry about keeping us out of was Lefty's. You know where Lefty's was.
Yeah, but see, you know who we kept open? We kept Ballard's open.
Yeah, I know you got Jimmy Ballard's, but that was back whenever you and John Fairclough and all those guys used to go down there and clean out the bar. Is that right?
Well, it was our workout.
Yeah.
That was our weekly workout. See.
But Sam Bird and all that bunch went to Lefty's. You remember that? And you know, and the
I
thing,
do remember
and
that.
wasn't and he didn't have girls. Girls never went in Lefty's. I don't know why. But where they went was, and I want to tell you, he just died recently, just last weekend. But I've got to think of his name. Oh shoot! You know, it was what was the place down there? The hotel. At Hotel Troy Max. It was such a great place to go.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, but I can't remember.
Well, oh God, Rex's. Rex Taylor died recently. You remember Rex Taylor? I'm sure you did because you had to go get your players out of his bar. He had the best pizza in the world and best. He had a hamburger steak with the white gravy.
I remember that.
Boy, that was a good place to eat, and it was called Rex's. And of course, Mr. Emerson Waldo, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was, his daughter Nancy was a good friend of mine. He owned it before him there, and they called the place Waldo's. And then when you in college, it was considered the best bar in the country. Everybody said that left there and graduated and went on, came back and said, what was the name of it before Waldo's? That bar there. It was well known. And Joe, okay. Well, oh gosh, but it was really famous. It was really fun. But that was back in the old days. And then now I know you would remember the Hut. Now where you ate hamburgers, where Mr. Rowland would make you a hamburger. You remember that, don't you?
Yes, and no doubt about it. Hey, by the way, yesterday I want to give this before I forget it. I flew in. I drove over to Birmingham. Indy Flight flew in. We spent all day long, and he told me to be sure, because I told him I was going to be in with you this morning. Andy flew in from Dallas, told me to tell you how much he enjoyed your friendship through the years and to say hello to you.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, something very unusual about Andy White. Of course, he came from South Georgia. I remember a little town in South Georgia. And the championship week, or during the championship, Troy went 10-1 and made it to the top 4 teams. There were 4 teams in the championship round. Of course, first game was against Willamette of Oregon, and then the second game for the championship was Texas A&I. And you had to take Andy, who was a student coach. You remember he got hurt. He's a running back, student coach. And you had to put the uniform on him that week to have enough running backs. You remember that?
That's very true. We talked about it yesterday. And he said he couldn't get out of bed for 2 days.
All right, well, let me tell you this. I've got the program of the championship game, and I'm going to show it to you when you come, the program. And for some crazy reason, I hope you can answer this question. J.A. Williams was not on that roster. J.A. played on the national championship team, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm almost sure he was hurt.
Yeah, Cecil Barber and he had a great game. Cecil Barber from he was from South Georgia too.
Yeah.
And Cecil, we lost Cecil a couple of years ago. What a great! And I want to say he was a freshman.
Yeah, I think that's right. No, I'm sure that.
Of course, he was the other running back, and and then they had Andy White, a coach, had to take him off and put a uniform on him.
Coach's staff, that's right.
Of course, Jeff Cotton did not play in the championship game, but boy, what a great player he was. He was as good a running back as there was in this country, bar none, wouldn't you say?
Mike, he helped us get there.
He did.
Efforts.
And
he could play in that championship.
And not too long ago they gave him a ring, and I thought that was one of the most wonderful things that had happened in a long time. A few years back they gave him a ring, and hey, if anybody deserved it, he did, don't you think?
No, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Is he still?
Yeah, he lives down in I want to say Mariana, Florida, or
Florida. Yeah.
He's right there in Mariana or Tallahassee, one or the other.
He played at University of Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of those guys we got from University of Georgia, but he wasn't getting enough playing time.
Yeah. No question about it.
That was the way we built the program, if you remember, Mike.
Have you eaten at our place downtown, the new place, they opened up, it's called Rumors.
I have not.
Downtown Troy, Max, the restaurant is called Rumors, and I'm sure the reason they named it Rumors was for so long, there was a rumor on who was going to move their restaurant to downtown Troy. and it's a great restaurant that's open right now in downtown Troy with wonderful food. They'll be open for lunch and dinner tonight. It's called Rumors, and they have wonderful ice creams and milkshakes also. This restaurant was in Ozark and still running in Ozark too. So, and
Okay.
they also have a meat and three,
I have not been
and
there
plus
yet.
hot dogs and hamburgers that are really good. And they're open right down there where Milky Moo's used to be on the
yeah,
square.
I saw the sign.
Exactly right. Max, if you come to Troy, and some people call it the square, and some people call it the square. You know, what do they call it in northern Mississippi? Square or square?
Oh. Yeah, you throwing some stuff at me this morning, Mike, and you brought
Max Howell's been our guest calling in from Fulton, Mississippi, and you're gonna be here this weekend, is that right? Or next weekend?
next weekend, Mike. Next weekend, I'll be there.
Well, you'll be on my show. I hope one day on the next week. Next week.
Yeah, I'll be there right after lunch on Friday, and I'll stay to Sunday morning.
Yeah,
And,
and I know that's going to be, and of course your headquarters will be the Marriott, and great folks there, and you know, I say this, Max, and of course you've been around college football all your life. If we weren't Division 1A, we wouldn't have Marriott. Don't you agree?
No, I agree with that. That was so many things that that had to come to that decision, Mike. That the collateral efforts from the community really have added to the program. And a lot of people would have never stepped up to make those things happen.
Yeah.
Had Troy not gone D1.
Exactly right, and it's turned out to be a wonderful thing for Troy. Of course, we're still not considered the high level of Division I, but hey, we proved last year against LSU that we can win at that level, didn't we?
Very true. You certainly did.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to it, and I hope that you will enjoy the weekend. Of course, you'll see a lot of guys you haven't seen in a long time. Guys that were no longer here was the running back Sammy Hayes.
Yep.
George Hires.
George Hires a tackle. Fran Collins a tackle. Both of those guys are gone.
Yeah. All right, well, you said Hayes, Hind, and Fran Collins.
George Hires was the right tackle.
Yeah, George Hires. And the great linebacker is no longer with us. The All-American linebacker played at Jordan. You know what we're talking about? Billy brought him in here.
I'm trying to think now.
Great linebacker, he's no longer with us.
Rusty Ninus was there, and Rusty played for
This guy made All-American. This guy was All-American, and I should know, gosh, he was from Columbus.
I'm trying to think. Jimmy Gillespie played one side, and Jerry Spillers played one.
That's right.
Ninus played one. George Little played the middle.
That's right. This guy was a great player right after George. He didn't play in the
They
Nationals.
must have come afterwards, yeah.
Well, I don't know, though. I think he might have played. He might have been on the team, but I don't know if he played that much. But he's the only other one that I know is not with us anymore. And
Tell me where Bill Russell is.
Bill Russell, no, he's one I got to add. Bill Russell is deceased. He died he's from Hartford, but he was living in Geneva when he died, yeah.
Right.
Boy, he was a great player, too.
I thought that was right, but I couldn't.
Campbell. Wasn't it Campbell?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Campbell.
But he didn't play on that championship team.
No. I want to say his picture was in there, though I can see it. No, maybe not. But Campbell was his last name, and he was a good one.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that many people are, that are still living. In my class, I want to let you know that my class at Charles Simpson High School in Troy, I graduated in 1965. Mm-hmm. Over 50 members of that class are deceased. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Max, I bet you didn't have that many in your class that are deceased.
No, we had about 65 or 70 in our class, and I'm thinking now I'm gonna say half of them are gone.
All right. Well, of course, that was at Prattville High School, and what a big school that is now.
Oh, it was the largest school in the state of Alabama up until about 2 years ago.
Exactly right. Okay, Max. Well, listen, it was a great show, and I know we didn't get in depth, but hopefully, when you call next week, we'll get into how these teams look. Alabama's got their game next week. Troy's got their game next week, and you're going to be here. Is that right?
I will be there, and we'll get a chance to talk. I'll try to call in Wednesday or Thursday. So
Okay, and you'll also be here for the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will also be that weekend. So, and then we'll have a party at the Alumni House after the Hall of Fame induction. So it's going to be a big weekend.
It will be. Mike, thank you so much.
But remember the bowls. Remember the bowls, and that's we'll be talking about this all next week. You need to leave one of these with me.
Okay.
And thank you, Max.
That's fine.
And of course, this is going to be a wonderful event. The Empty Bowls is coming back for the how many years? 9 years in a row.
Ninth annual.
9th annual. And old Bud used to like to come to this, you know, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, that is Friday week, starting at 11 o'clock, runs to 2 o'clock from Bush Memorial Baptist Church. I want to mention somebody, a friend of mine that we lost recently, is Hubert Williford. Hubert Williford was from the Williford family right here in Troy, and he was a longtime teacher in Pensacola, Florida, and his funeral will be Friday at 1 o'clock from Harper Morris Memorial Chapel in Pensacola. Hubert was 81 years old and a good friend of mine. Of course, Richard Williford, his brother, died just a little over a year ago. And of course, he was one of my best friends on this earth. But I wanted to mention Hubert today. What a great guy he was. What a great Trojan he was. He was a great Troy graduate that went on and taught in the Pensacola system for 35 years.
Wow.
Did you have fun today?
I did. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, one of my all-time favorite people, and of course, Kim, I know this is going to be another great event, and we'll look forward to it Friday week.
Absolutely. Hope
And
to
if
see
y'all
you
want to
there.
send somebody on next week, we'd love to have them.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll see you again tomorrow, bright and early. For Today in LA, this show will also be broadcast again at 1:30 today, from 1:30 to 3 o'clock. So that was a fun show. Enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow.